Today, we're going to talk about something that you never have any trouble with, I bet. I'm kidding. It's how to deal with difficult people, without moving to Australia. Perhaps you're familiar with that child's book. I love people, especially the lovable ones. I think I love people well until I come across a difficult person. Maybe I'm that difficult person, but don't think about that right now. A while back, I got a text. Hi, Sue. We're moving back to town. Do you know any good places to rent? And I thought, oh no, of all people, not my town, not our neighborhood. I replied, rentals are few and far between. And then I put it out of my mind because I was right. My secret drawer labeled, I don't like you very much, isn't very large. But this gal fit right in. Patty, not her real name, it's a secret drawer, annoyed me. The ultimate victim all the time. Patty talked too much. This is me saying that about somebody. Broadcasted wild notions and whined. As if that weren't enough, she had visited our church years before and let it be known she could not stomach the sermon. Not my favorite person. We had worked together briefly, and now I was more than happy that our paths no longer crossed. Do you have someone like that in your life? Maybe you also keep a private list of those who best not be named and pray that you never see them again. Notice I didn't say pray for them. You just pray that you never see them again. Even worse, you work alongside of them. Or much, much worse, you're related to them. The funny thing is, none of our secrets, even in our secret drawer, are secret to God. The other funny thing is, He's got a plan for how we deal with our difficult people. What can we do? Pretend they don't bother us? Nope. Change locations? Probably not. Speak the truth in love, and the truth is we don't like them, and we would love it if they would leave us alone. It's not convenient to move to Australia and join Alexander on his no good, very bad day caused by a no good, not so pleasant, irritating person. But it doesn't stop us wishing that we could be on the next plane. Now, what makes a difficult person difficult? Patty has her own set of admirers. I just wasn't one of them, which goes to show what irritates one person may endear them to another. Do you know someone like that? Case in point, my husband, Mark, raised in the Midwest by a family who doesn't use many words in general, values humility. However, the Moore tribe, my family of origin, values biblical humility, but we love to revel in each other's gifts and talents. You can find my sisters and brothers announcing their latest achievement on a blog, a painting, a recipe, a gardening trick, and I'll chime in to celebrate. Aren't we grand? The folks must be so proud. Now, although we get a kick out of family reveling, Mark rolls his eyes and wonders what he's got himself into. Too late, honey bun. What I enjoy, he's irritated by. Defining difficult can depend on our family of origin. And once we understand those differences, we can begin to deal with others a bit easier. Give more grace. Even laugh at ourselves instead of demanding change. The sooner the better. You've heard the expression, hurt people hurt people. I forget that fact when I'm the object of that hurt. My daughter received bad news and she asked for some counsel. Whatever I said set wrong with her, and she let me know, which hurt me. We stayed in that cycle of you hurt me, now I hurt you for 24 hours or so, which was not a bad length of time, but I wish it didn't happen at all. I realized later that she spoke and acted out of her original hurt, the bad news. I was the safe person to receive it, which was an honor I did not relish. If you're a parent, you've probably had that honor on more than one occasion. I remembered I behaved the same way with my mother. A hurting person often shows her prickly side to the one she feels most loved by. Now, does that make it any less difficult? I don't think so. Sometimes even more painful. Blood is thicker than water, and we want all of our blood relations to treat us with love and respect. This is what I know. Understanding cultivates compassion, which leads to love. I wish I had taken time to wait patiently alongside my daughter in her hurt, to ask, can I help? Or simply, I love you and I'm praying for you. I reacted instead of considered what she actually needed. Support, not instruction. To say less is wisdom, as Proverbs 17:27 reads, quote, a truly wise person uses few words. A person with understanding is even-tempered. That's in the New Living Translation. When someone acts out of their pain, it makes them difficult. But I compound the difficulty by reacting instead of responding. I need to push pause on my lips and take a lesson from Job's friends, who were better friends when they kept silent. Once they began talking, it became worse. I can relate to that. When difficult people lash out, I want to listen with my heart, not just my ears, and think, I wonder what's going on to make her act that way. Was there something in his or her past that's causing this behavior? When I stop to ponder, I'm heading down the path of understanding, compassion, and love all around. Now, there are degrees of difficulty in difficult people. Do they matter? I think so. We should be experts dealing with difficult people because in one way or another, everyone is difficult. We work or we live alongside those who talk too much, snore too loudly, whine too often, complain too regularly, don't clean up enough, or clean up too much. It's the two that's the problem, TOO. The degree of the irritation makes the difference. We all do things that irritate. What shifts the common annoyance to unbearable aggravation is the magnitude as well as the frequency. We can handle a little, right? We can't endure a lot. And the difficult person is the one who doesn't grasp he's crossed the boundary. He's gone too far. He's spoken out of turn too many times. He's moved from annoying to difficult. Throw in bad-tempered, impatient, manipulative, and selfish, and you've got the human race in a nutshell. So how do we respond when it becomes all too much? Do we just let things go, pretend it's okay, and move on, or just move out? Some do. They go along for a good long time, and then boom, time's up. They walk out. Suddenly, it seems, with only the scent of hurt lingering, mingled with resentment. How can we prevent this from happening to us and in us? God's word presents principles about how to get along until glory. It's up to us to put them into practice. One principle I encountered early in our marriage is Paul's exhortation in Ephesians 4:15. Quote, speaking the truth in love, we are to grow up in every way into him. Now, I was an English major, an English teacher, a writer, and a lecturer. I had the speaking the truth part down. It wasn't until my man in plaid pushed buttons I didn't know existed, I realized I only knew half the formula. As you know, half formulas cause more problems than none. I did speak the truth, but I forgot the love. Paul's words drilled deep down into my soul while I repented, confessed, and repented again. Cultivating a grown-up relationship with your most beloved may include painstaking prayers for wisdom and love, timing, and tone. I still pray those prayers. On the other hand, when we keep an issue to ourselves and take the tack of suck it up, buttercup, things smooth over only temporarily and could lead to bigger issues. The long-suffering friend can explode after being treated with disrespect one too many times. A husband might come home to an empty house, completely blindsided by a spouse who never gave words to her deep hurt. Suffering in silence is not biblical, nor is let it all hang out. I long for a godly balance between forbearance and speaking in love. But often it feels like 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. Besides common aggravations, are there limits to what we should endure when loving confrontation falls on deaf ears and hard hearts? What can we do when someone maintains insufferable opinions, engages in character assassination, or threatens bodily harm? Do we tolerate all behavior in the name of love your enemies and obedience to a perceived higher standard? The simple answer is no, we do not. If you are in those kinds of relationships, you need to get help. You may have to leave. You certainly need to create boundaries. Dr. Dobson called this tough love. I call it common sense, which my friend Stephanie used to say, common sense is not so common anymore. When entrenched in a toxic relationship, it may be difficult to see that you need help. Listen to godly friends. Get good counsel. As the wisdom writer said, without counsel, plans fail, but with many advisors, they succeed. Proverbs 15:22. Degrees of difficulty do matter. On the one hand, we need to exercise patience and kind words. On the other end of the spectrum, extreme behavior warrants firm and healthy boundaries. Ask for the help that you need. I'm begging you. What are some simple practices to help us with our difficult people? In Proverbs 25:24, we read this: "It is better to live in the corner of a housetop than in the house shared with a quarrelsome wife." Now, during our nation's shelter-in-place ruling, I can only imagine the race to find more corners on more housetops. Yet God has a purpose for close quarters, which can bring out our worst before He works in His best. I know this for a fact. A few simple practices follow to help us love well and live peacefully. Here's the first one. Know your limits. Now, does loving someone mean that you need to spend all your time with them? My mom would say this: "We are coming for 3 days. Remember the saying, after 3 days, fish and visitors stink." I think that was from Poor Richard's Almanac, Benjamin Franklin. I appreciated Mom's candor. Now, when I'm the guest, I have more control over how long I am around the person that I love, but that I find difficult to be around. To mitigate hurt feelings, I may give options in advance. "Hi, I'm coming to visit. I can stay Monday and Tuesday unless Tuesday and Wednesday work better for you." Do you see how I did that? You've presented your boundary. They get to give input. And if they still try to manipulate the time, at least you provided them opportunity to accept the facts. Another tip: Recognize your triggers. If you know your dad will repeat the same old story about the time you failed algebra, be ready with a response to recalibrate the conversation and send it in a different direction. Dad, that was so long ago. I'm glad I made it through. Now, how have you been? You see how I did that? Rather than, would you stop bringing that up? Who cares about algebra? Can't you think of something good that I've done? Your difficult person may become more difficult the older they get. That's just real life. By the way, my dad never said that about algebra. He was the one who got me through algebra. At the same time, we need to become more grace-filled the older they get and ask God for creativity and tact. Next, do your part. The classic book Boundaries by Henry Cloud and John Townsend offers this good counsel. Quote, we always need to forgive, but we don't always achieve reconciliation. To forgive may be our part, but we can't control the response, can we? Romans 12:18 bids me live in peace as much as I can. Quote, if possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. Live peaceably with all depends on two parties, doesn't it? And one may not want to party. Focusing on my attitude and my actions is my job. Taking responsibility for the results isn't. I must leave the outcome in God's capable hands. Next, speak the truth, but not right away. Speaking truth tenderly takes courage and empathy. Someone said, confronting someone should hurt you as much as it could possibly hurt her. Once I asked the Lord how best to confront a friend who had misjudged me. By the time I finished praying, God showed me I had some issues He wanted changing. Now, I still thought I might bring it up someday. But before I got around to saying something, I had forgotten what it was all about. Some conversations don't need to even take place, especially when we begin with prayer. Next, take the long view. Now, when your 13-year-old acts out, try and remember your junior high angst. Ask your mother to help you remember. You might have a good laugh together, and you'll give your teen some slack as she navigates her tempest of emotions. Then place a robust promise in your mind and heart, like Philippians 1:6. Quote, and I am sure of this, that he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion. What a great promise. Faith means that I believe God is working, whether or not I see anything yet. If we could see it, we would not need faith. Next, forbear like God forbears. I like that old-fashioned word for patience, forbearance. We find it in Colossians 3:13. Forbearing with one another and forgiving one another. If anyone has a complaint against another, even as Christ forgave you, so you also must do. That's in the King James Version. My sister Lori said this, forbearance is putting up with more than you are due, or that you think you are due. The thing we want everyone to forbear with us, the thing is, we want everyone to forbear with us, but we forget to forbear with everyone else. In the end, I can't argue with Paul's reasoning. Christ forgave me. I must do the same. It's simple to teach the golden rule, but our kids learn best by how we show grace and love, whether or not it's their due. Next, pray for wisdom. God will answer my plea for wisdom as we read in James 1:5, quote, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given him. When someone gets under my skin or rubs me the wrong way, I need to start with this no excuse prayer. Lord, give me wisdom. It's short, it's to the point, and it keeps me from a world of trouble of my own making. Next, recall how God loves you when you're thinking about this irritating person. When I think how I've grieved God and hurt others, I'm well on my way to loving the difficult person. 2 prayers help me. First, Lord, show me my sin. Next, show me what lesson you have to teach me through this challenging relationship. I'm in one of those challenging relationships right now, and I need to be talking to myself and reminding myself of these 2 prayers. Lord, show me my sin. Next, show me what lesson you have to teach me through this challenging relationship. Now, when God answers those prayers, my focus moves from the other person to God's ongoing work in me. The iconic Proverbs 27:17 reminds me, quote, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. Now, I don't like ironing in general, but I like the results of ironing. When God uses someone to help shave off some of my rough edges, that's called sanctification. It's painful, but I love the results. Here's a matter of perspective. Living peacefully with others is often just a matter of perspective. Right before I married, I asked my sister for advice. I spoke frankly. Lori, how do you deal with your husband Leonard's idiosyncrasies? Her husband Leonard is a singular genius, and we love him. She knew exactly what I meant, and she was not offended. Well, Sue, she began, one of 3 things will happen. 1, his idiosyncrasies will no longer bother you. 2, they will become the stuff of family legend. Things what we laugh at. And 3, and this is the funny one, they will still bother you. I love that reality check. The most valiant prince of a person has faults. In close relationships, we get front row seats to view how he or she grows out of them. Or when they don't, we draw on God's mercy to help us forbear and forgive. And we pray again, Lord, give me wisdom. And going back to that gal, Patty and her family, they did move here. And they came for our Christmas Eve soup potluck. And we didn't go to Australia. How are you dealing with the difficult people that you live around? I hope this has been an encouragement to you. Let me know in comments if I can pray for you. And have a wonderful, very wise, very good day.